The Iceman gives us the unique possibility to look back into our past.
Have you ever wondered what secrets the past is hiding beneath the earth? From an 8,600-year-old bread that is older than the pyramids, to a haunting mass grave with 36 skeletons bound in iron shackles, recent archaeological discoveries are rewriting history. What stories do these finds tell about ancient life? And what other incredible mysteries could still be waiting to be uncovered? Get ready for some truly shocking revelations from the distant past. Swords of the Judean desert. What if something lost to time could suddenly reappear, perfectly preserved? That is exactly what happened in June 2023, when archaeologists unearthed an incredible find in the Judean desert. Hidden in a remote cave, 4 ancient swords lay untouched for nearly 2,000 years. They were complete with wooden hilts and leather scabbards, a rare sight since materials like wood and leather usually break down quickly. But the desert's dry air had kept them safe, almost as if nature itself had been holding on to them. The discovery began with something small but intriguing. Researchers exploring a cave southeast of Jerusalem, near the Dead Sea, stumbled upon the iron tip of a Roman javelin, known as a pilum. Alongside it, they found fragments of carved wood. Realizing they might be onto something, they decided to scan the cave using metal detectors. That's when they uncovered the swords, carefully tucked behind stalactites, as if someone had intentionally hidden them there. Experts believe these weapons were taken by Jewish rebels during the Bar Kokhba revolt, a fierce uprising against Roman rule that happened between AD 132 and 136. The rebels likely seized the swords during battles or raids and hid them in the cave for safekeeping. But for reasons unknown, they never came back for them. The most surprising part of this discovery is the sword's condition. Despite being centuries old, they remain incredibly well preserved. This gives researchers a rare chance to study how the swords were made, from the craftsmanship of the blades to the way the leather was treated. Every detail could provide clues about their origins. This includes where they were forged, who might have wielded them, and what role they played during the revolt. Archaeologists are excited not just by the sword's appearance, but by the stories they might reveal. Were they hurriedly stashed after a fight? Were they standard Roman weapons, or perhaps something modified for rebel use? Each question leads to new possibilities, making this discovery a critical piece of history waiting to be pieced together. And while this find answers some questions, it leaves plenty more hanging. Why were the swords never retrieved? Did their owners lose track of them? This remarkable find is just the beginning. In another part of the world, something even older and just as mysterious was found under the waves. The lost Nabatean temple. It's amazing how traces of the ancient world can resurface in unexpected ways. In August 2023, Italian archaeologists revealed a fascinating find near Naples. Beneath the waves, hidden for centuries, lay the remains of what was once a grand temple. This structure, which is over 2,000 years old, was submerged due to volcanic activity. It was in an area not far from the looming presence of Mount Vesuvius. The Nabateans, the people who built the temple, were desert traders from regions that are now Jordan and Saudi Arabia. They were famous for their incredible city of Petra and for supplying Roman society with rare and exotic goods. Many of these luxuries arrived at the port of Puteoli, now known as Pozzuoli, just a short distance west of Naples. The temple stood proudly on the shoreline of this bustling trade hub before disappearing underwater. The ruins include an altar dedicated to Nabatean gods, a piece of history that sheds light on how cultures connected through trade and belief. Archaeologists believe this temple wasn't just a place for worship. It was also a way for the Nabateans to showcase their culture to the Romans. Like a signboard, it displayed their identity while strengthening trade ties. Among the ruins, a Latin inscription on marble offers a glimpse into the past. It tells of 2 men, Zaidu and Abdelje, who made an offering of camels to the Nabatean god Dushara. This sacrifice might have been a way to secure blessings for a dangerous sea journey or to smooth over trade deals. Such details hint at the deep connections between commerce and religion in ancient times. This incredible find shows how much the sea can still hold on to, preserving pieces of history until they are ready to be found. There is always more to uncover, and the next remarkable find might not be far off. Sometimes the most valuable clues can surface in the smallest, most unexpected places. Gems of the ancient Roman baths. In an unexpected place, archaeologists stumbled upon delicate artifacts that brought ancient lives into focus. In northern England, archaeologists working beneath an old cricket pavilion in Carlisle found something extraordinary buried in an ancient drainage system. Dozens of tiny carved gemstones were recovered, each one a glimpse into Roman life during the 3rd and 4th centuries. These gemstones, known as intaglios, had carvings of Roman gods like Apollo, Venus and Mars, as well as animals like rabbits and birds. The gems likely once belonged to wealthy bathers who visited the public baths above the drains. Over time, the heat and humidity loosened their settings, causing them to fall into the water below. Some stones were made from agate, jasper, amethyst and carnelian, and their sizes ranged from about ½ an inch to less than ¼ of an inch. The smallest ones must have taken incredible skill to carve, requiring expert craftsmanship. These intaglios weren't just decorative. Romans often used them as seals, pressing their carved rings into wax or clay to leave a unique mark, like a signature. This shows that these gems had both practical and personal significance for their owners. The site of the discovery, which sits beneath the Carlisle Cricket Club, was once part of a Roman town known as Luguvalium. Carlisle was a regional hub in Roman Britain, and its bathhouse would have been an important social and cultural space. Alongside the carved gems, archaeologists uncovered more than 40 women's hairpins and 35 glass beads in the same drain. These personal items suggest that the baths were used by a wide range of people, each leaving behind traces of their lives. But the drain's treasures don't stop there. Over the years, excavations at the site have unearthed hundreds of other artifacts, including pottery, coins, and even weapons. It is amazing to think how such small objects, lost accidentally centuries ago, can resurface and teach us so much. It makes you wonder what else might still be hidden beneath layers of earth, waiting to be found. Meanwhile, on a distant island, another discovery has raised new questions about the past. New Moai on Easter Island. A dried-up crater on a remote Pacific island is not where most people expect to find traces of the past. Yet in February 2023, volunteers on Rapa Nui, or Easter Island, uncovered something remarkable. They found a moai, or giant stone head, hidden in the cracked earth. At just over 5 feet tall, this one is much smaller than most. Many of the roughly 900 moai on the island are over 30 feet tall, with one unfinished statue estimated to have been over 70 feet if completed. Still, its unusual location has archaeologists wondering what else could be buried in the crater. The Rapa Nui people carved these statues between 1300 and 1600 CE. Using hardened volcanic ash, they were placed on stone platforms called ahu, facing inland as though watching over the villages. Though their heads are the most recognizable part, many moai have bodies buried underground. Some of the statues also have red stone pieces on their heads, known as pukau. These are believed to represent hats or hair tied in top knots. For the Rapa Nui, these statues weren't just works of art. They were deeply spiritual, seen as the living faces of their deified ancestors. Each moai was thought to hold the mana, or spiritual energy, of the ancestor it represented, connecting the people to their past. However, little is yet known about the newly discovered moai. Archaeologists are eager to learn more, searching the crater for tools that might have been used to carve it from the soft volcanic rock. There is also hope that ancient wooden tablets covered in glyphs called rongorongo could shed more light on the statues. These carvings are thought to hold the secrets of the island's history and culture, but so far, no one has been able to fully understand their meaning. Without this key, many questions about the moai and the people who created them remain unanswered. Now, even with ongoing efforts to protect the statues, the moai face challenges. Rising sea levels and coastal erosion caused by climate change threaten to damage these ancient figures. While this newest discovery lies farther inland, experts worry about what the future holds for the statues along the coastline. As archaeologists continue their work on Rapa Nui, they hope to uncover more about the crater's secrets. What they have found so far offers a glimpse into the island's history, but it is clear there is still much to learn. In another part of the world, a desert grave revealed a completely different kind of artifact. Ancient saddle. Deep in the sands of northwest China, archaeologists uncovered something rare in the Yanghai Cemetery near the Taklamakan Desert. A 2,700-year-old saddle was found buried in the grave of a woman, and it helped shed light on how people rode horses in ancient times. In those days, riders often traveled bareback or used simple mats or blankets. It was not the most comfortable or practical method, especially for long journeys. Saddles like this one made a big difference. They helped riders travel farther while reducing strain on both the person and the horse. This saddle is thought to be the oldest ever found in the archaeological record, and this makes it an important discovery. The saddle was made from leather, stitched together with care, and stuffed with straw and animal hair. These materials normally don't last long, but the dry desert conditions preserved it surprisingly well. Researchers believe it shows how early technology for horse riding was developing in the region. Experts think horse riding was first introduced to China from northern Central Asia, where nomadic groups relied heavily on horses. Finds like this saddle show how these cultures influenced the way people lived and traveled in ancient China. Little is known about the woman buried with the saddle. Was she a rider, or did the saddle hold special significance in her life? While her exact story remains unclear, this find gives us a better understanding of the time she lived in. As archaeologists continue their work, new questions arise, and other discoveries in distant lands are waiting to be explored. Shackled skeletons in Phaleron. What lies in an unassuming graveyard outside Athens may hold clues to one of history's most violent betrayals. You see, in 2023, archaeologists made a startling discovery buried deep in the earth near the historic harbour city of Phaleron. They unearthed a mass grave containing the remains of 80 individuals. What made this burial stand out was that 36 of the skeletons were bound in iron shackles and laid out in a row. The condition of the remains has led some researchers to believe these individuals may have been political rebels, possibly tied to a failed coup in ancient Athens nearly 2,700 years ago. The skeletons were primarily of younger, healthy individuals based on the condition of their teeth. This detail supports the theory that they were likely political prisoners or followers of Cylon, a would-be tyrant who attempted to take over Athens in the 7th century BC. According to historical accounts from writers like Thucydides and Plutarch, Cylon was an ambitious figure. He had competed in the Olympic Games around 640 BC, where his athletic success elevated his status. He even married the daughter of a Megarian tyrant. Athens at the time was struggling. Poor harvests and growing inequality created unrest among the people. In 632 BC, Cylon, with help from his father-in-law's forces, led a coup, expecting the people of Athens to support him. However, most Athenians didn't join, and Cylon was forced to flee the city. His supporters sought refuge on the Acropolis, but they were soon cornered. Facing starvation, the rebels were promised safe passage by the city's archon, Megacles. But as they left the sanctuary, they were executed. Thucydides wrote that some were even killed near the altars of deities they had sought protection from. This betrayal led to a curse on the killers and their descendants, as they were considered to have violated sacred laws. Despite these accounts, experts are cautious about linking the skeletons directly to Cylon's rebellion. One researcher noted the lack of detailed historical records from that period. This makes it difficult to confirm whether these shackled remains were Cylon's followers or victims of another event entirely. They pointed out that ancient Athens saw many instances of political violence and unrest, so the mass grave could have other explanations. Even with unanswered questions, this discovery provides a glimpse into a turbulent time in Athens' history. As experts continue to study the site, more clues may come to light about the lives and deaths of these individuals. But discoveries like this are just the beginning of what ancient sites continue to reveal. Lost City of Aten. When archaeologists began digging near Luxor, they never expected to uncover a city frozen in time. Well, that is exactly what happened when they unearthed what is believed to be the largest ancient city ever found in the country, known as Aten. This city is more than 3,000 years old and is being called one of the most significant finds since the discovery of King Tutankhamun's tomb. The site, which dates back to the reign of Pharaoh Amenhotep III, offers a rare look into a bustling ancient metropolis. It continued to be used by later pharaohs, including Tutankhamun and I. The city was found near Luxor, close to the famous Valley of the Kings. This is a burial site for Egyptian royalty. One Egyptologist described it as the Lost Golden City, a name that hints at the wealth and significance of this long-forgotten place. The excavation began in September 2020 between the temples of Ramses III and Amenhotep III. The team uncovered several artifacts, each one shedding light on life in the city. Jewelry, colorful pottery, and scarab beetle amulets were among the first discoveries. They also found a production area for mud bricks, which were commonly used to build temples and other structures. These bricks even had Amenhotep's seal stamped into them, linking the site directly to his reign. Evidence of craftsmanship was everywhere. Molds revealed that workers in Aten crafted amulets and temple decorations. Tools and remnants of spinning and weaving were also uncovered, showing how textiles were made for the city's residents. The city's design itself speaks volumes. A zigzagging wall with a single entrance point separated administrative and residential areas, suggesting that movement was tightly controlled. As the excavation continued, the archaeologists uncovered entire neighborhoods. A bakery, complete with ovens and large storage pots, offered a glimpse into how food was prepared and stored for the city's inhabitants. Work areas and residential districts also came to light, each revealing more about the daily lives of the people who lived there. The discovery of Aten isn't just about the city itself. It provides a better understanding of Egypt's history during a time when the empire was at its peak. From the architecture to the artifacts, every find adds a piece to the puzzle of how people lived, worked, and organized their society thousands of years ago. Now it's time for today's subscriber's pick. This image shows a snowy, frozen landscape with a giant humanoid figure lying partially buried in the ice. The figure looks ancient. Two enormous weapons, resembling swords or stakes, are lodged into its body, hinting at a battle long forgotten. What appears to be a lone person and a sled team of dogs or wolves pass by in the foreground. Their small size show the massive scale of the frozen giant. Scene's mystery and harshness. The stillness of the image feels eerie, like this frozen giant could wake up at any moment. You can't help but wonder what the giant's story is. Who or what could have defeated such a massive being? And why is it here, trapped in the ice? Do you think this giant could be connected to ancient myths or something more? If you were the traveler in this image, would you stop to investigate or keep moving? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And just when you think the ancient world couldn't surprise us more, another find changes everything. 3,000-year-old secrets of Saningdui. In 2022, southwest China became the site of an amazing discovery. In a place called Saningdui, near the city of Chengdu, archaeologists found 13,000 ancient relics that were over 3,000 years old. These items came from 6 sacrificial pits. Many were crafted from gold, bronze, and jade. The Saningdui culture is one of history's unsolved puzzles. There are no written records from them, and they left behind no human remains. Most experts believe they were part of the ancient kingdom of Shu, which ruled the Sichuan Basin along the Yangtze River. This kingdom thrived for centuries before being conquered in 313 BC. Despite the lack of detailed records, these recent discoveries offer a new chance to understand their lives, beliefs, and traditions. For the past few years, archaeologists from several prestigious institutions, including Sichuan University and Peking University, have been digging through the 6 pits. Their work began in 2020, and since then, they have unearthed quite a number of artifacts. During the most recent excavation, they found over 3,000 remarkably well-preserved items. Among them were over 2,000 bronze pieces, including intricate statues. One of the most fascinating finds was a box that looked like a turtle's shell. It was made of bronze and jade and had never been seen before at any ancient site. Researchers explained that this discovery was especially exciting because of how unique and detailed it was. Nearby, they also uncovered a bronze altar standing nearly 3 feet tall. Experts believe this altar was used by the Shu people to make offerings to the heavens, the earth, and their ancestors. It's a window into how deeply spiritual and connected to nature this ancient culture might have been. The pits revealed more than just treasures. Surrounding the artifacts were traces of bamboo, reeds, soybeans, and even remains of cattle and boars. These were likely sacrifices, offered in hopes of blessings or to honor their gods and ancestors. It's a reminder that these objects weren't just decorative, they held deep cultural and religious meaning. Saningdui's significance stretches back nearly a century. In the 1920s, a local farmer accidentally discovered the site. Since then, thousands of ancient artifacts have been uncovered, turning the spot into one of China's most important archaeological sites. The area covers 4.6 square miles and continues to surprise researchers with its hidden treasures. While Saningdui hasn't yet been recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, it is under consideration. The discoveries made at the site are, without doubt, a chance to rewrite history. With every piece of bronze, jade, or gold, archaeologists get closer to understanding who these people were and how they lived. The Shu civilization may not have left books or human remains, but through their artifacts, their legacy endures. Speaking of groundbreaking finds, something remarkable was recently uncovered on the Greek island of Crete. Wheel-shaped ruin. Among Crete's ancient ruins, one discovery stands apart for all the secrets it refuses to share. In 2024, archaeologists unearthed something extraordinary. They found a massive circular building from the Minoan civilization that stretches over 19,000 square feet. Shaped like an enormous car wheel when viewed from above, it is unlike anything else from this ancient culture. Dating back to between 2000 and 1700 BCE, this site was built around the same time as Crete's famous palaces at Knossos and Phaistos. Yet while those sites have clear purposes, this structure's function remains a mystery. Experts are now carefully studying it, trying to piece together what it was used for and why it was constructed in such a unique way. According to the Greek Ministry of Culture, the structure has some features that remind researchers of Minoan tombs. Its circular stone rings and carefully arranged layout suggest careful planning and advanced architectural skills. But the discovery of large amounts of ancient animal bones nearby has left archaeologists puzzled. Could it have been a place for rituals or sacrifices? Or was it used for something entirely different? No one knows for sure. The structure sits high on Papura Hill, overlooking the nearby town of Castelli. The view from this hilltop reveals just how strategically the site was placed. It might have had a ceremonial purpose, or perhaps it held some significance connected to the surrounding landscape. As archaeologists continue to dig and analyze, they are also facing a challenge. Plans for a radar station for Crete's new international airport could disrupt the site's preservation and research. For now, the mystery of this monumental structure remains unsolved. Why was it built in such a peculiar shape? And what do the animal bones tell us about its history? The answers may lie beneath the surface, waiting to be uncovered by careful excavation. Elsewhere, a breathtaking glimpse into the Roman era has come to light, offering tales of gods, heroes, and beauty. Ancient mosaic in Syria. Imagine uncovering a massive artwork buried beneath layers of rubble left untouched for centuries. That is what archaeologists in Syria found, a breathtaking Roman mosaic that speaks of gods, heroes, and battles. Measuring 65.5 feet long and 20 feet wide, this ancient masterpiece brings to life the Trojan War, the muscular form of Hercules, and Neptune surrounded by his 40 mistresses. The discovery was made in Rastan, a town near Homs. This place had been a focal point during Syria's civil war. The General Directorate of Antiquities and Museums revealed that the mural, made of vibrant stones as small as half an inch, had remained remarkably intact despite the conflict. The site where it was found had once been under rebel control until government forces reclaimed it in 2018. The Mosaic, dating back to the 4th century AD, is considered one of Syria's most significant archaeological finds since the civil war began in 2011. Experts say it offers rich details of Roman artistry from a time when the Western Roman Empire had already split from the Eastern or Byzantine Empire. Its design, created with painstaking precision, reflects the height of Roman craftsmanship. Each tiny stone was carefully placed to form vivid images that once adorned a grand building. Interestingly, the building housing the mosaic was bought by Lebanese businessmen from the Naban Museum. They later donated it to the Syrian state, paving the way for its excavation. Given the destruction and looting of artifacts during the war, this find feels like a small victory for preserving history. Yet its future remains uncertain, as Syria continues to rebuild amid the scars of conflict. While archaeologists are celebrating this discovery, they are also bracing for the challenges ahead. And who knows what other fragments of the past might be hiding beneath the soil? Well, in another corner of the ancient world, something much older and simpler emerged. A proof of how humans once nourished themselves in a place that thrived thousands of years ago. World's oldest bread. In a quiet corner of an ancient oven, archaeologists uncovered something astonishing: a loaf of bread that dates back 8,600 years. Found at Çatalhöyük, one of the earliest cities in what is now Turkey, this discovery offers a rare look into how some of the first human communities baked and preserved their food. Researchers believe it might be the oldest loaf of its kind ever discovered, even though older flatbread remains have been found in Jordan. What made this loaf stand out was its remarkable condition. It had been carefully wrapped in a way that kept it intact for thousands of years. Archaeologists explained that the bread was small, round, and had a spongy texture. The area around it was covered with a thin layer of clay, which helped preserve the organic materials, including wood and the bread itself. This unique preservation method provided a rare chance to study a food item that otherwise would have disintegrated long ago. Further tests revealed what made up this ancient loaf. Scientists found traces of plant material and signs of fermentation, showing that flour and water were mixed to form the dough. The bread was likely prepared close to the oven and stored for later use. These details paint a picture of life at Çatalhöyük, where people combined simple ingredients to make food in much the same way we do today. For something so small, this ancient loaf has left behind a wealth of knowledge about a time long gone. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.